Hi friends, I have a new book for you. This one's called The Little Rabbit. Isn't that a cute little rabbit right there? Well, hey, in this story, this rabbit makes a couple friends, and I want you to pay really close attention to one of those friends because we're going to talk about it later. All right? The Little Rabbit. The Little Rabbit. The Little Rabbit. Story by Judy Dunn and photographs by Phoebe Dunn. Oh, they have the same last name. They must be related. Well, Judy wrote the words, and then Phoebe took her camera and went out and got some pictures. The Little Rabbit. One Easter, Sarah found a little rabbit in her Easter basket. She was nestled beside two eggs. The little rabbit was soft and white. She had bright pink eyes, long ears that were pink inside, and a tiny pink nose that was always wiggling. Sarah loved her new friend very much. Look how tiny that rabbit is. Just fits in her hands. Sarah let the little rabbit play in the grass while she tried to think of just the right name for her. There were some tiny yellow flowers nearby called buttercups. That's a nice name, said Sarah to her little friend. I'll call you Buttercup too. Sarah took good care of Buttercup. Every day she visited the new red hutch, bringing food pellets and fresh water. And then she watched Buttercup eat and drink. See that little house? So a house for a rabbit like that is called a hutch. Ah. Sarah's other friends love buttercups too. After school, they hurried over to Sarah's house and played with the little rabbit. Buttercup was always happy to be the center of attention. All the children wished that they had a rabbit of their own. It would be neat to have a rabbit for a pet, wouldn't it? One afternoon, Sarah took Buttercup out to the meadow and fell asleep. But Buttercup did not want to sleep. She was soon hopping off to meet new friends. First, she came upon a slow-moving turtle. And then she met a beautiful orange and black butterfly. There was so much to see and do in the world. Look at that. See our new little friends? But what was that? Buttercup was startled by something moving in the ferns. Do you see what it is? Yes, it was another rabbit. The other rabbit was a wild rabbit. He was quite different from Buttercup. He had large brown eyes and brown fur that helped him to hide from his enemies. The two rabbits watched each other for a long time, and then they hopped away. So look at that picture. Can you see how those rabbits are the same in ways? Can you see how they are different? Okay, we'll come back and talk about that later. Buttercup was hungry, so she nibbled some grass beside a rhubarb patch. Suddenly it began to rain. She ran for cover and got stuck between some stalks. And then she sat and watched the rain. She felt very small and very lonely. So see this right here? That's rhubarb. It's a kind of vegetable. It grows like celery. And there's Buttercup under the rhubarb leaf. When Sarah woke up, she searched all over for Buttercup and finally found her. Sarah and Buttercup went everywhere together. Sometimes they went on picnics in the woods. Sarah always brought along a carrot for Buttercup. And look, she carries Buttercup in her backpack. How fun. Sarah was very proud of her rabbit. Over the next few months, Buttercup grew bigger and bigger. Soon, she was ready to have babies of her own. Sarah put a nesting box filled with clean straw into the hutch. Buttercup pulled fur from her coat to make a soft, warm nest for her babies, and then she waited. Sarah visited the hutch often, but nothing happened. Look how big Buttercup is. And then one morning, Sarah looked into the hutch and saw 7 baby rabbits in the nest. "Oh, Buttercup," she said, "you're a mother." Sarah was so happy to see the babies. There were 7 babies. The babies grew fast. Soon they were big enough to climb out of the nesting box and look around. They were lively and curious, and as soft and white as their mother. Now Sarah had to think of names for all of them. Since there were 7 baby rabbits, Sarah decided to name them after the 7 days of the week. Hey, we know the days of the week. Why don't you say them with me? Ready? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Those are their names. Soon the little rabbits were big enough to go outside. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday stayed in Sarah's lap, but the others jumped out. Wednesday sat under the daffodils. Thursday sniffed violets, and Friday hopped through the grass. Hop, hop. But where's Saturday? Little Saturday went farther than any of her brothers and sisters. Soon she found herself in a sea of tiny blue flowers. There were flowers everywhere. Saturday stopped right where she was because she didn't know where else to do. She was lost, but Sarah found her. Thankfully, huh? It was time for the rabbits to go home. Sarah couldn't get them all back by herself, so she called for her father. Together, they collected the little rabbits and put them back into the hutch with Buttercup. "Sarah," said her father, "there are just too many rabbits, and they're getting bigger every day. It's time you found good homes for Buttercup's babies." Well, Sarah wanted to keep them all, but she knew that her father was right. There were too many rabbits, and the hutch was crowded. She's got to find homes for the rabbits. I'll take one. So the next day, Sarah offered 1 or 2 of Buttercup's babies to each of her friends. Monday went home with Kate, and Billy chose Tuesday for his pet. Wednesday and Thursday rode home in Jeff's bicycle basket. By the end of the day, all of Buttercup's babies had new homes, and Sarah's friends were proud to have rabbits of their own. Well, that's right. They wanted a rabbit, didn't they? Now they have their own pet. Sarah and Buttercup were happy to be alone together just as they were in the beginning. "I love you, Buttercup," said Sarah as she stroked her rabbit's soft white fur. But Buttercup just wiggled her pink nose. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Wiggle your nose. Wiggle. That was a sweet story about a rabbit and her human, huh? Okay, now listen. I'm going to get my whiteboard ready, and I want you to think about that other rabbit that Buttercup found, the one that she made friends with. Okay, let me get my board ready, and you'll see I already wrote some stuff on it. All right, got to prop this up like I've done in the past. Okay, I hope that's good. And let me move this over. Not very high-tech here, huh, in my living room. But we'll do the best we can, don't we? All right, there we go. You notice I wrote some stuff on this board? Okay, so here I wrote Buttercup. That's the little white bunny, right? And that says both, and that says friend. So both means Buttercup and the friend, right? The other rabbit. Okay, now normally I would draw like a Venn diagram or a double bubble to put the information in, but my board isn't so big, so I just wrote it in like a little list right now, okay? So what I want you to do is think about Buttercup and the little rabbit that she saw in the woods. And I want you to think about how they are similar. Okay, so we're going to compare and contrast these bunnies. So we're going to compare them first. So how are they similar? Like, how are they alike? Sure, yeah, they're both rabbits, of course, yes. So they're both rabbits. How else are these two alike? Yeah, they sure do. They have four legs, 2 in the front and 2 in the back. So they have 4 legs. And those legs help them to do what? How do the rabbits get around? Yeah, they hop, right? So they both can hop. So Buttercup can hop, and the friend can hop too. They both can hop. How else are they alike? Look carefully at them. What are they covered with? It's fur, right? So they both have fur. So I'll just write they have fur. Do you see another way they're alike? Look at their ears. Are their ears long? Are their ears short? Yeah, they both have long ears. Let me write that. They have long ears. I'll just write long ears. Okay, let's review what we read. So both Buttercup and the friend are rabbits. They both have 4 legs. They both can hop. They both have fur. And they both have long ears. Okay, now, how else? Let's see. Actually, I don't think I have much room to write another way that they're the same. So let's go ahead and contrast them now. Now, let's tell how they are different, okay? So how are these rabbits different than each other? Okay, let's look. Oh yes, Buttercup has white fur, right? Let's say white fur, white fur. And the other rabbit has brown fur, brown fur. Okay, how else are they different? Look at Buttercup's eyes. What color are they? Yeah, her eyes are like pink or red, right? So let's see. Buttercup has red eyes. And what about the other rabbit? The other rabbit has brown eyes. Brown eyes. Okay, how else are they different? And maybe it's not even something that you can see. What do you know about the rabbits? Like, what do you know about Buttercup? Does she belong to somebody? Yes, she belongs to Sarah, doesn't she? She's Sarah's pet, right? So Buttercup is a pet. Buttercup is a pet. How about the brown rabbit? Is it a pet? No, it even says right here, the other rabbit was a wild rabbit. So Buttercup is a pet, and the friend is wild, right? Is wild. Is wild. Oh, my writing is looking wild. Okay, what else do you know? How about where do they live? Where does Buttercup live? Yeah, in a little house. What's that house called? Do you remember what that house was called? A hutch. So Buttercup lives in a hutch. And where does the brown rabbit live? Yeah, it doesn't have a home like that, does it? It lives, let's see. Well, it was coming out from the woods, so we can say that maybe it lives in the forest or in the woods. Yeah? Let's say forest because it sounds fancier. So the friend lives in the forest. There you go, forest, boom. Ah, okay, so let's see, anything else that you know? How about what do they eat? Yeah, Buttercup does eat carrot. And what else does she eat? Because Sarah feeds her special food, right? Yeah, so she eats pellets. Yeah, it says it here at the beginning of the story. Let's see. It says, Sarah took good care of Buttercup every day. She visited the hutch, bringing food pellets and fresh water. So Sarah fed her food pellets. So let's see, we'll say that she eats pellets. And actually, Sarah feeds her the pellets, doesn't she? Now, what about the wild rabbit? Does it get fed by someone? No, it's wild. It's not a pet. Does it eat pellets, do you think? Or do you think it eats stuff it finds in the forest? Yeah, probably stuff it finds in the forest. So I think that it was nibbling on some grass. So I think that it eats like grass and leaves and stuff. I'll say eats grass. We'll just say grass. I don't think we have room to write too much. We're just writing little notes, okay? Not complete sentences, just little notes to help us remember how these little friends are the same and how they're different. Okay, so let's just review really quickly. So both Buttercup and the friend, they both are rabbits. They both have 4 legs. They both can hop. They both have fur, and they both have long ears. Now let's talk about how they're different, okay? So Buttercup has white fur and the friend has brown fur. Buttercup has red eyes and the friend has brown eyes. Buttercup is a pet. Remember, she's Sarah's pet. And this friend is wild. And where do they live? Well, Buttercup lives in a hutch and the friend lives in the forest. And another way they're different is that Buttercup eats pellets and the friend eats grass. Yeah, so whenever you're reading books, it's always a good thing to think about how things are the same and how they're different, and then later you can compare and contrast. You can tell about it. All right, thanks for joining me for this story about Buttercup. Have a great day.